this is not happening. Really. I'm so stupid. Hey, what's up, you guys? It is Samantha. Welcome back to my channel. Ever since I posted that he didn't know I'm transgender video, or the I got played transgender dating story, whatever it's called, I don't even remember. I've been getting so many requests to do more storytime videos about like dating situations that I've been in or awkward encounters that I've had with people that say didn't know I'm transgender or anything like that. This story isn't exactly like that, but it does have to do with me being trans. Dating is literally a whole different ballgame when you're transgender. It's an experience for sure. There's a slight chance that he's going to see this video because he does know about my YouTube channel. So if you're watching, hi! Me and this guy matched on Tinder. He was a few years older than me. I wasn't really too interested in him at first, to be honest. He was very persistent. He was liking my pictures on Instagram, like sending me messages, and just like really stood out from the rest. I looked at his pictures on Instagram. He was like a family type of guy, you know what I mean? Like he had pictures with his brother and his mom and stuff like that. So I figured he was a good guy, you know? So if you guys aren't familiar with the concept of love bombing, I don't even know, it's hard to describe. Basically like telling somebody kind of that you love them and like you're all into them and that you want to be with them forever, and just really playing on their emotions to try to get them to be into you. So we had been talking for a few days to a week, and he was already calling me baby and like saying that he wanted to be with me and like calling me his baby girl and stuff like that. And it was just like a lot. It progressed really, really quickly, and he was just like so like, it was just so much. And to be honest, like, I was into it. He was cute. He was really, really nice, really sweet. He seems like a friendly family guy, like I said. And I was just getting out of that rough situation. So I was honestly, like, just so happy to be receiving this positive, like, attention. So the day comes that we're going to hang out, and he Snapchats me, and he's like, I get to meet my baby girl today. Like, oh my God, like, so excited. He was just, like, so extra, just, like, really, really wanted me to just, like, be into him. And, like, it was working. I ended up picking him up at his house, which is like 45 minutes away from my house. And we hang out, we go to this lake nearby and just like park and like start talking. I can tell that he's a little bit uncomfortable, like I'm a little bit uncomfortable. It's just like the first date vibe. Very awkward, very like, so how are you? The red flags that I noticed immediately was that we didn't follow through with our plans to go on our date. We just kind of hung out and just like sat in the parking lot and like went on a little walk, which like it was fine. Like I'm not saying like you need to buy me stuff to go on a first date with me, but like if you say you're gonna bring me somewhere, like do it, follow through. Like we walked by the lake and like ended up sitting at like a little picnic table, and at this point we had this little joke going on that like he was afraid that I wasn't gonna show up because he thought I was like a catfish or something, and like he thought that it was gonna be like some dude named Jared that shows up. We were sitting at this picnic table, and he said to me, I wouldn't even mind, like, if you were Jared that showed up. Like, I'm just having such a good time with you. Like, it wouldn't even matter. Blah, blah, blah. At this point, I, like, knew. Like, something's going on. Boys would just say that they'd be cool with a dude showing up instead of me. Like, he knows. I, like, look over at him and I'm like, yeah, like, kind of just, like, playing and, like, hinting at him that I knew that he knew. And so we walked back to the car, and he was telling me a little bit about his past and, like, some mistakes that he's made along the way, and, like, telling me that he had baggage and, like, all this stuff, and like it turns out that he like cheated on his ex-girlfriend, and like we'll get into that later. And I was telling him like, yeah, it doesn't matter who you used to be, like I like you for who you are now, like I accept you for who you are now. Your past doesn't matter to me, because obviously being transgender, I have a past of my own, and that's how I would want somebody to react to like my situation. So as I was saying that to him, he was being so like grateful and like thankful that I would still accept him despite his like mistakes that he's made. And I was like, yeah, of course. And then I just got really quiet. He was like, is everything okay? Like, what's wrong? What's wrong? It's going to be okay. And I was like, no, it's not going to be okay. Like, I really like you, blah, blah, blah. But like, and I just couldn't spit it out. So I just was saying, like, I really like you, but like, and like just kind of mumbling and just being like weird, you know? He's like, what's wrong? What's wrong? Like, tell me what happened. Like, what did I say? And I was like, no, you didn't say anything. Like, it's not that. Like, I just like, and I was just so like, I couldn't get it out. I didn't know what to say. I couldn't form my words. Like, it was a struggle. And I don't want to say that I was nervous that something bad would happen, because I did trust this guy. Like, we had been talking for like a little while, and I was confident that he wasn't going to like hurt me or anything like that, but I was still nervous to tell him. I don't remember exactly what I said to him, but I ended up telling him that I am transgender, and that's why I was like upset, and that's why I was worried, because I was afraid that he wouldn't accept me and that everything would come to an end. At this point, he was looking at me And I was like, did you like know? Like, because you mentioned that thing, like I wouldn't mind if you really were Jared, blah, blah, blah. And like, did you know? He said that he could tell that I was trying to hide something and that I was nervous about him being able to tell something. And so he kind of just like put the pieces together. But he also said that he didn't care, like at all. He goes on to say that like, oh, I noticed that when I put my hand on your leg, you got a little tense and you like squeezed your legs together a little bit, kind of like hinting at the fact that like I was nervous that he would reach and like feel something, you know what I mean? And so I was like, well, I mean, I wasn't trying to hide anything from you. It was just me being like reserved, but I have had surgeries and stuff, so it's not like I was trying to just hide something from you. And when I say that, he got so surprised and he was like, oh, wait, really? Really? Like, I thought you just still had a penis, and like I was just ready to accept you having a penis. And like, if you're trans and like you're pre-op and have had dating experiences, I'm sure you've realized like how like special that is, like how nice, and like it's just not very often that you find somebody that would accept you even if you're pre-op. So after that, it was just a typical like him asking some kind of questions that we needed to get out of the way. All that happened the rest of the day was we hung out until it got dark. We kept talking and stuff, and we made plans to hang out again a few days later. And then I dropped him off at his friend's house. So at this point, I am like ecstatic. I'm so happy. Like I am thrilled. Like I really like this guy, and he really likes me, and he's accepting. He knows all my tea. Like it's all good. Life's good. We're still talking and we're still texting and stuff like that. And when the day comes for us to hang out again, we do. Again, I drive back to his house. Something else that's important to note is that whenever we went on dates and like would get food or anything like that, I was always the one to pay for me and him. And I was always the one that was driving, which like I am totally fine paying for my own meal. But at the same time, it's kind of like my boyfriend now, he does that stuff for me. And it kind of just shows me that he cares and that he wants to like, I don't know, like do things for me and provide for me and stuff like that. So I don't know. That's just a little tidbit for you guys to do with what you want. Well, the next time I went over there, I actually ended up going inside of his apartment because nobody was home. Key fact, nobody was home. And yeah, we were just like watching Rick and Morty and like hanging out, and things ended up getting a little bit intimate that day. We didn't like have sex or anything like that, but we were like intimate. And then as soon as everything was over and like we were done being intimate, the vibe changed. He walked out of his room, got like a water or whatever. He got me a water, which was nice. But he got really, really quiet and like really reserved. When I first got there, he was being super talkative, super like touchy-feely, you know what I mean? Like just normal. He was just acting normal. To be honest, I think that at this point he was starting to second guess himself, you know, getting insecure about hooking up with somebody that was trans. And so I asked him, and he was like, no, nothing's wrong. Like, I'm good, whatever. And we spent the rest of that time that we spent together, and then I ended up going home. I could still tell that there was a disconnect or like some uncomfort. Uncomfort, is that a word? Discomfort? I could still tell that there was a disconnect and some discomfort with him. Like even through text I could tell. And so I ended up just asking him. I was like, hey, listen, like if you weren't feeling this, like you would tell me, right? He was like, yeah, I am for sure, but I'm really glad that you asked because I am having some concerns about my friends and what people will think of me if they find out like who you are. As he's like explaining this to me, he's emphasizing how much he's attracted to me and how much he likes me and how much he does want to be with me, but also highlighting the fact that he is terrified of what his friends would think and that he's just not sure if he could actually like follow through with it. He told a couple people that he knew. One of them was his roommate, and his roommate ended up getting like super uncomfortable with it and was just like baffled at the fact that like I was born a dude or whatever, and said that he would be really uncomfortable if I were to like be at the apartment when he was there. Literally a few days earlier when I was at his house for the second date or whatever, he was telling me that he didn't even like his roommate and that he wanted to move out and that they weren't even close anymore, but that he didn't care about what he had to say or anything like that. And like now he's even taking his roommate's side over me, like the girl that he's interested in and wants to be with. So we decided to hang out again despite his concerns, just to try to figure things out and just kind of, you know, work our way through the situation. We end up getting in a little bit of an argument. It's not even an argument, but we were just like talking about it, and I just got upset because I'm an emotional person. So basically what this fight was me telling him I don't want to be a secret, and I'm not going to be treated as a secret. Like I've worked too hard, I have gone through too much stuff to be treated like this. Like I'm not something that you want to keep on the lowdown or like keep away from your friends or like some side chick. Like no, bitch. That's not how this is gonna work. I said to him, listen, like, I feel like a secret and that's not okay with me. I'm going back to my house now to hang out with some of my friends and I think you should come with us and hang out with us. And what he ended up saying was like, no, like I'm socially awkward, and just like mumbled and just like literally pulled some shit out of his ass. So I said to him, listen, if you can't even do that, then like this isn't gonna work. I have to go. As I was leaving, he was like apologizing to me and saying that he was sorry and that he still cared about me and all this shit. And I was just like, you have no idea what I've been through. Like this is not happening. So this is where you would think and hope the story ended, but it's not at all. He's like posting on Facebook about like, I'm so tired of hurting God's angels and stuff like that, and it's just such bullshit. And I'm sitting there posting on my Facebook so he can see it, and I'm like, imagine if I lived my life to please others, or something like that. It's like, imagine if I lived my life to please my peers, like I'd be dead. Because it's true, like if I lived my life to please like people in society and shit like that, like I wouldn't be here. Simple as that. So after about a week, he messages me on Facebook and he's like, I'm really upset about the stuff you've been saying about me. Like, I never intended to hurt you and I never intended to make you feel this way, all this stuff. And I'm like, I want to like try to find these messages actually. So I looked to see if I could find the messages, but I'm pretty sure he blocked me. So sorry about that. I said back to him, I was like, okay, but you did. I understand where you're coming from, but you did the stuff that you did, not me. Like, this is on you, not me. And he was like telling me all this stuff, like, I've never like hurt you or talked to anybody else, blah, blah, blah. And like literally, another little tidbit. He had signed into my messenger on my Facebook, so his account was open on my phone, you know what I mean? I had opened my messenger to like look at a message on my own thing, like not even trying to creep on his thing. And I literally saw 2 messages to other girls saying like, you're so beautiful and like, hey beautiful and stuff like that. This was literally before we had our fight, before anything like that happened. Like we were good at this point, and he really just like went behind my back and like did that. Really? I brought that up in the Facebook message, and he responded to that by saying like, oh, like, you have to understand nothing would have come from that, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like not having it. Like, I just let it go. I was like, no, hunty, no. So we talked about all the other stuff and kind of tried to work through things and see if, you know, we could try again. We ended up hanging out. I'm so stupid. We ended up hanging out again like a week later. And it was literally like the same as it was before. I could tell that he was embarrassed to be seen with me in public. He would literally like walk away from me in stores and pretend like he didn't know me. He wouldn't hold my hand or anything like that. It just like really wasn't healthy for me. But at this point, I was still so heartbroken from like all the other stuff that had happened that I just kept going with. And I just tried so hard to make it work. Which is definitely like my own bad. Like that was me. That was all me. But we hung out for the last time right before I moved into school. I went to his house and we hung out on his couch or whatever and literally just like laid there, just like talked a little bit, but mostly just like cuddled and just like chilled. He was acting like everything was good. He kissed me goodbye, promised me that he would come up and visit me at school, and then I left. So after that, we're still texting, still talking, and one day we're talking and he says, hey, you wouldn't ever hurt me, would you? And I'm like, of course not. Why would I hurt you? Like, what do you mean? He's like, you wouldn't do anything to intentionally like break my heart or like hurt me or like get back at me. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like what is going on? What are you talking about? And he's just like, well, I thought that you might be upset about everything like after we like broke up and like stuff like that. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, so you decided that this wasn't gonna work and that you didn't want to like do it and then didn't feel the need to tell me? And so I texted him back and I was like, so you already decided that this is gonna work? And he said yes. That's all he said. Yes. Like no explanation, no like, yeah, I've been thinking about it. Yes. Over the next like month or something, he kept sending me like random ass messages like, hope you're doing well, like blah, 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 stuff like that. What is going on? Like chill. And I had posted a Snapchat story to the song. Oh, it was that Khalid song. It's like, I'd wish you the best, but you already had it. Already had it. You know that song? So I posted a Snapchat to that song, and he messages me, and he's like, it's about me. Like, bitch, first of all, why do you care? Like, this is your fault. Second of all, fuck off. And I'm like, no, it's just a song. Like, definitely was about him, but I'm not gonna let him know that. I really want to show it to you, but he blocked me, so I can't. But he, like, gave me this list of, like, 1, like, I would never, like, try to get back to you. 2, like, I never talked to anybody else, like, while we're dating, and you were talking to somebody else normally, and, like, all, like, doing all this stuff. And, like, literally, I just sent him back a message. It was like, first of all, no. Second of all, no. Third of all, no. Fourth of all, no. Have a good day. Literally just discounting every single one of his points and instead of get back to him, I was not talking to somebody else. Like, it was just deflection. Like, he was the one talking to other people. Like, he was the one doing all this stuff that he was accusing me of. And like, at the end of his message, he was like, so once you read this, I'm gonna block you. And I was like, okay, dude, block me. Like, you know, I was nothing but good to you and did nothing but like support you and like do things for you, and you did nothing. Like, you were shit to me. So at this point, we don't talk, we don't communicate. Like, I haven't even like looked at his Instagram or like anything like that. I don't even know if he still has one. So yeah, that was the time that my boyfriend was literally ashamed of being with me, didn't want anybody to know about me, kept me a secret. It's just the life of a trans girl, you know? No, I'm just kidding. That is not the life of a trans girl. If you're in a relationship like that, please leave. Like, please, it's just so not worth it. For a long time, I thought that's all I deserved. That's all I was ever gonna get. But now, being in a relationship that is healthy and like loving and supportive, I know that that's not true. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this week's video. It was a little bit of a crazy story, but I mean, I feel like it's a story that a lot of trans girls can relate to. So hopefully by sharing my story, some of you can learn from it and try to avoid the same situation. If you like this video, please give it a big like, make sure that you subscribe, and click the little bell to turn on your notifications. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!